Hey everyone, Christina Simmons from Say Yes to Holiness here, and so I'm in my dorm room. So let me change this a little bit so you have a little bit better back view. There you go. Just trying to do a couple of things, which is one, give you some insight into what it is that I'm doing this week, why and where. And one of the biggest things is that I am at, the full name, the Given Institute Catholic Women's Leadership Forum. And so one of the big things is that we're trying to help young adult women in particular be able to embrace who they are as women and being able to go out into the world and share their giftedness. I use the phrase because it comes from my work as an M-Code facilitator, but to share their unique and unrepeatable self, who God created them to be, with others in the world. And that's something that isn't happening out in the world today. And one of the biggest things is that young adults in particular, and for anyone who has kids, anyone who has teens, those going through college, those who've just recently graduated college, you know the truth of this. Even if it's your nieces and nephews, you know the truth of this, is that there is such a great struggle right now for young adults to really find their place in society, for them to find their role. What is it that God is calling them specifically to do? I talk about the three aspects of vocation, being that call to holiness. All of us are called to that universal call to holiness. Our state of life, which is very much in flux during those young adult years. And then finally, your personal mission. What is it that you are gifted at? What is it that you're called to do? Where is it that you find your passion? Where is it that the world's needs and your greatest desires cross? Frederick Buechner's definition of vocation. So one of the biggest things is that Given is attempting to inspire and equip the next generation of leaders, particularly women, to be able to, quote, receive the gift that they are, realize the gifts they've been given, and respond with the gift that only they can give. So I'm here because this week-long forum is the beginning of a year-long process through which young women, more than 100 young women, are coming, and I've been here for the last 2 days with mentors and with all sorts of consecrated women, lay women, as well as religious women, and it's just been such a beautiful opportunity for us to come and spend time together and recognizing the gift and beauty of what it is to be a woman. And this is not to negate in any way, shape, or form the male. The men in our lives are who bring forth our maternity. We cannot create without others. And that's the whole point, is that we rely upon receiving so that then we can then share. And this is the essence of what it is to be woman, is we receive, we're attentive, and then we're able to share by our own attentiveness and sharing as well. And so what Given's doing is they're providing leadership formation, they're providing mentoring in their faith, and then they're forming women, young women in particular, to go out on mission and also within their lives. And such a gift. I so wish that this was around 30 years ago when I was just coming out of college, but God still worked in my life and I found my place. But this is something where we really need to do this. And so again, why young adults? Well, particularly because all the demographics are stating what we know intuitively, but statistically state how it is that young adulthood is increasing in length. And so in the midst of that, it's something of where there's a really unclear path. Are you an adult when you have a job? Are you an adult when you move out of your parents' house? How many young adults have a job, but they're having to live with their parents because of economic reasons? Or, or how many Are you an adult when you get married and, establish your own household? Again, there's all these kind of unclear things that are going on. And so there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of intense identity exploration. As we well know, we can see society and all of the, just a real brief, observation is that when we do not know who we are, of course, we're going to end up with a lot of people going, oh, well, I'm X or I'm Y, because we don't know who we are. In my book, Say Yes, I speak about this, about the fact that we have to know who we are, or more properly, whose we are. We are sons and daughters of God, and this is a part of where we begin. So why young adults? Because young adults are in the most need, because all of what used to support young adults is no longer present. Family life is, for the most part, disintegrated, so there's no longer stable marriages or a stable economy. And also, it's something of where young adults are looking for other adults to be able to show them the way and help them be able to discern where it is that they should be. So why women? So a lot of people, you look at Title IX, for example, and like, why do girls need more help? Well, in a particular way, there is a understanding of women in our society which is misaligned, and also it's misdirected, in which it's disordered. And I say that with caveats attached, because there is truth that's in how it is that women have been defined in our society, but it's also been denying the very essence of who women are, and that is true femininity and true maternity. Maternity has been associated only with physical childbearing, and the fact is that maternity, life-giving generation, creative generation, is what women have done throughout the eons. It is women in a civilization, when they are being maternal, and not just bearing children, but when they are being maternal, when they are helping bring forth the best out of others, be it men or women, then that society as a whole flourishes, because creativity is unleashed. And so we're really struggling with that in our society today. So one of the biggest things that Given tries to do is focus upon women, young women, so that they're able to truly embrace the gift of who they are, and then share the gift that they have been given. And finally, why now? It all ties together, of the fact that young adult women have, in an aging population of religious sisters, and the way that our world is defining women and how they need to act in society, which unfortunately in many ways is like a mini guy. You have to have masculine attributes, quote unquote, to be successful, etc. And it's something of where right now there is a huge amount of conversation about how women can really step into wider culture, and especially within church. And it's not about women need to be priests. It's not about, women need to be in a, quote, role of a formal leadership. And it's not about denying the leadership gifts of women either. I myself, I served as a military officer and for 14 years, and it's something of where my leadership gifts are not being denied just because I don't have a formal position. There's much more to leadership than a formal position, but our society tends not to recognize that, so I digress. But the fact is that right now we need to be very attentive to making sure that we're doing what Pope Francis invited us to do in the synodal process, which is to be a listening church, to listen and to be present and to meet people where they are, and to then respond to their needs and then help them, as the mission of the Given Institute says, to receive the gift that they are, realize the gifts they've been given, and respond with the gift that only they can give. So this week, We're beginning, all the young women are arriving this afternoon. We begin tonight. And I'm super excited to be bringing all of you more about what Given is doing, and also how it is transforming and shaping the conversation that's going on, that's so desperately needed in our world today. So again, I hope that you comment. I hope that you send me questions, because I'm going to have the opportunity beginning tomorrow to start sitting down with some of the speakers. I already have had great conversations at lunch and dinner, and talking about the feminine genius, which St. John Paul II talked about. And it's something that we need to be very attentive to, so that we can embrace all of who we are, not just as women, but also as men, because it is together that we are able to transform the world. God made man and woman in his image so that we could redeem the world with him, through him, and in him. But we can't do that if we aren't becoming exactly who he created us to be. So again, I hope that you join me this week. I'm going to have more YouTube Lives. I'm going to be sitting down and speaking with some of the participants, as well as some of the mentors, and then also some beautiful conversations with some of the religious sisters who are here, and the lives that they represent, the lives that they image for us, of all of what is possible when we embrace all of who we are. So I hope that this has served you. I hope this has given you a little bit more insight into the Given Forum and why it is that I'm here, because this is where it's happening. And we need to be informed, so that way we can come to understand and discern, and we can then send our daughters and help our daughters and our sons be able to understand who they are, so that then they too can go and embrace the gift that has been given, and then they can share that gift with others. Have a blessed day, everybody. Look forward to talking with all of you again soon.